Maurice and Odie gonna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Snerdy is the best podcast, gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna meet magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health, no, it's not scary. You know that she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic and that's the best policy. Maurice the GOAT, talking about animation cause you know. Odie, she moving wavy like the boat. Watching some movies and she taking notes. Yeah, kick back, listen. Black and Snerdy have risen. Upload on a mission. 5 stars, never dissing. Black and Snerdy, ooh. Black and Snerdy, yeah. Black and Snerdy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast, the only podcast where two sexy black nerds get together and shoot the shit. I am Mo, aka Kid Licorish.
And I'm Odie.
And together we are the aforementioned Snerds on episode 109 of the Black and Snerdy podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling very queer today.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling very rainbow bright.
Yes.
And you want to know why that is?
Why?
Because it's Pride!
That's right. It is Pride Month at the time of this recording. And we're here, we're queer, and
Get
you know,
used to it.
Well, I think at this point people are pretty used to it.
I don't.
I think in New York they're used to it. In this part of New York, in like the 5 boroughs.
You mean our block?
Yes.
Our singular block.
Our singular block.
I mean, in general, New York is definitely a better place to be queer than like freaking Wisconsin. Or
yeah, there was
something.
wasn't there a pride parade today in Queens? I want to say
There's been pride parades around the country today. There probably was one in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been to a pride parade for a while, actually.
You didn't go to one last year?
Did I? I think it rained.
Yeah, I think it did rain.
Oh wait, shoot! Did I send you a picture that I wanted to put up for Pride? The one with Tu Wong Fu. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
No,
You're referring to this one.
Yes!
Me during Pride Month, it's Wesley Snipes and Tu Wong Fu. Me during Juneteenth, it is Wesley Snipes as Blade.
And I think both of these are appropriate because, I mean, June is Pride Month.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of black queer folk across the LGBTQ spectrum.
Diaspora. Yeah.
It's also Juneteenth.
Is diaspora specifically just a word that refers to the black experience?
No, there's all different types of diasporas.
Okay.
There's black diaspora, Asian diaspora, Latin diaspora.
Okay,
Some of the
I only
diasporas do have overlaps because if you are in Mexico, you can also be black and Mexican, and then you could have your own specific diaspora somewhere else. Yeah. So, there's lots of diasporas.
Yeah, I just only ever heard it when it comes to like the black diaspora or the African or African American diaspora.
The first time I ever heard the word diaspora was
at Howard?
And
of course it was at Howard.
Talking about the black diaspora and what that meant. So to me, I have learned that it is a much more far-reaching word because it's just a descriptor.
Yeah.
So we have Pride, we have Juneteenth, we have Caribbean Heritage Month.
Yes.
Lots and across the board, there's intersectionality of all those because there's lots of queer, black, Caribbean. Everybody.
Even if the Caribbeans don't want to admit it.
They might not want to, but they're still there.
But they're there. They exist. Yeah.
They exist in the countries, out of the countries. Like, it's a thing. There have always been queer people.
Yes.
There have always been queer black people. Mm-hmm. And before colonizers came and fucked shit up, it was a very unimportant part of your identity. It was like no need to label. It was just like, okay, that's a thing. Like, even
it was just like the equivalent of saying that your favorite color was blue. Like it's a important factor, but it is a component of who you are as a person, you know, just not the major important part.
Yes, and there's actually in Nigeria, specifically Igbos, I don't know the word for it, but it's basically a practice of women marrying women. So like, say for instance, you might be a woman, your husband died, you have all this land, you have money, etc. You could marry a woman and then so you keep your name, your title, your rights, so you become a man in that sense, and then you marry a woman, and then any other children you might have, cousin, brother, whomever, if you want to have more children, impregnate her, but they're taking your last name, it's your bloodline. And to me, I think that's not something that I learned a few years ago that I really found to be like, damn, like we don't even talk about that, because regardless whether or not it's a romantic marriage, who knows, but the fact that it happens is something where it's a very frustrating to see now, like in places like Nigeria, where my family's from, that there's so many anti-LGBTQ rules and regulations, and all of those they were not a part of the society until colonizers came and put in all of this puritanical British bullshit that we are fighting against across the continent. But I on like Twitter, I have like a lot of, friends who are Nigerian, like born and raised there, and also queer. And I love being able to see them and being out and express themselves. But it's also really sad to know that, like, my cousin, she and her wife, they are not going to go to Nigeria.
Yeah, of course not.
I can go, and we've talked about this before. I can go to Nigeria being a queer person, and because people aren't going to be clocking me for it.
People aren't going to know just from looking at you. And maybe the haircut, but...
But no, short haircuts are very normal in Nigeria.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. Then.
But in sense of like romantically, regardless if I'm with a male partner or someone that's male presenting and appears male, nobody is going to look at me and be like, "Oh, there's a queer person."
Yeah,
so it's a very different experience for me being queer and Nigerian. Than my cousin, because she clearly, like, she can't stop her wife is her wife, and that is what if they were walking down the street,
they can't just like they can't just go over there and be like, oh, we're roommates, you know what I mean? Exactly. Like, or what was another one, like the old standard of like it was roommates, besties, my best friend,
work together,
coworker.
So
they're just staying at my place for an indefinite amount of time and paying half of the rent.
You have to do a lot of subterfuge, and I hope that in the coming years, because if you go on Pornhub, you will see there are a lot of Nigerian African, gay as fuck porns. I hate
videos.
I personally hate them.
Those are so weird because everybody is ashy as shit.
I don't like watching African porn because I hate them.
And I'm not trying to be fucking racist or anything like that. Like those videos are fucking African. They are ashy.
I think the problem with
no one's using lube.
The problem with
on their feet or something.
African and Caribbean porn that I've noticed. Now, if you have different perspective, please send me the links. I want to see them. But they always have terrible bed sheets.
Yeah, terrible bed sheets. They're very realistic in their sex in that they are quiet. But there's not a lot of like expression.
And it doesn't ever seem to me that people are like super into it, regardless whether it's a gay porn, a bi porn, a hetero porn.
It always seems as though everybody is literally just doing this for the money.
And I don't like watching
and I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that.
There are, though, and I think I told you this the other day, that I was looking up there's some Mizani, which is a tribe I believe they're in South Africa, but they might be in that section of the continent.
Sure.
Where, now those ones have been nice. They've been having like nice hotel rooms, because the problem with the sheets in the hotel rooms in Nigeria,
you're really stuck on these sheets
because this is what it is.
What is the issue with the sheets?
It reminds me of going to like my aunties or uncles' houses and seeing these raggedy ass like floral patterned sheets on these hard ass mattresses.
Yeah,
and I just think like I would not want to have sex here. Like this doesn't seem like a place. Where I want to be.
It really is weird when you notice that there are patterns on sheets. Like
too many
patterns.
And I already know
that
they're the hardest sheets. These are like a 10 thread count sheet. You're getting rug burn on your ass trying to fuck on these sheets. So I just don't see it as a place of like enjoyment for me personally. Like I really wish they would do better and also just find people that actually want to have sex, whether in whatever way it is, whether it's they want to do gay sex, lesbian sex, straight sex, a mixture of the three or 4 or 5, whatever ones. But I don't want to see ashy ass. I don't want to see ashy asses. I don't want to see.
Say that 5 times fast. Ashy asses. Ashy asses. Yeah, I can't say. Oh man, maybe that'll be the title of the episode. Ashy asses.
I don't want to see ashy asses. Please, like, and then like so it's too much. It doesn't ever seem like. And then I'm like, you know how I talk.
Kids cannot watch this podcast.
You know how I tell you all the time with porn, if I'm watching it and it feels like there could be any modicum of like coercion or something, like it throws me off and I don't like it.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's been the porn corner.
The porn corner.
The porn corner, or the porner, or
the porner.
There is actually a website called ePorner.
Oh yeah, there is. I have heard of that one.
Bill E. Pointer.
Now,
maybe that'll be the episode title. Bill E. Pointer. Billy Pointer.
I'm sure there's
like
somebody.
Billy Porter.
Yes, of course. I'm sure there's somebody with that name. Now, we do have we wanted to shout out some people who we see as queer icons for the start of this very black.
You're going to have to point to them because I don't know.
Well, their names are there.
Oh, their names are there. Oh, all right, cool.
So the first person we are shouting out, and this is in no particular order, we love all of them
equally. Yes.
The first person is Mickey Blanco. Now she's a rapper, spoken word artist, activist, advocate for queer liberation and black liberation. I was looking for people I wanted to talk about today, and came across them in in a article in Them magazine.
Yeah.
Which is a queer magazine. If you have not ever heard about that, please check them out. And just reading her story and everything that she's been into, I said, yes, they are a queer icon, and they are an icon in the making, and I look forward to seeing many more years of them in the spotlight and using their music, their art to change the world. Now,
is Them magazine, the subject matter or the subjects in that magazine, their pronouns are them and they?
No, Them magazine is just called Them, but it's a variety of queer across the spectrum. Okay,
because I thought that I would say that would be cool. Like,
that would be cool.
It's a very specific like demographic that it's spotlighting.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't think it is. Let me double check. I do read them.
Well, that's fine.
A lot, but I'm still looking it up. I'm in the midst of typing.
Okay.
Okay. Next person.
Next person
is the disco queen themselves, Sylvester.
Okay. Well, this is taking up the entire screen.
As they should.
Sure.
As they should. Now, Sylvester is what some people call one of the architects of disco. They had, amazing songs, amazing videos. One of their big singles was You Make Me Feel Mighty Real. It also has a beautiful video. Watch it. They passed away in, I believe, 1988. But they have recently been getting some of the flowers they didn't get while they were alive. Last year during Pride, Disco Heat, the Fantasy Years 1977 to 1981, which is a anthology of their music, was released. So go buy that. And we just have to thank them, because without them, we wouldn't have Lil Nas X, Big Frida, or Mickey Blanco. So.
Yeah. So Sylvester, right?
Yeah,
Sylvester crawled so that these other artists can walk and fly and use all different types of transportation.
Yes.
Different modes of transportation, and look and fly doing it. Who's next?
The next person is Miss Major.
Miss Major.
So Miss Major is a trans activist. You see her; she's gorgeous. She has been, a huge advocate for the queer, the Black community, the queer community, the trans community. And in a Them article that was written by Raquel Willis, who, funny enough, I actually saw her, Raquel, at this party in the city when it was there for Doug's birthday.
Oh, cool.
She was like shuffling through the crowd, and I looked up and I was like, I know that woman. And then it clicked in my head who it was. Okay. But Miss Major said this in her Them interview about young organizers and activists, and if they have any tips. And she said, "We have a right to be angry, but you have to be angry in degrees. You use your anger to come up with ways to dismantle the bullshit that is oppressing you in the first place. There has to be a way to manage this so you can accomplish the goals you set out for yourself. It's not an easy thing, but you must nurture, take care of, and look out for yourself too. If you don't take the time to heal your wounds and soothe your ills, you cannot be any benefit to anybody else," which I think is, in this time and all time, so important, because there's a lot of bullshit happening on a daily basis, both whether it's queer related, Black related, brown related, Palestine, Congo. Like, there's so much shit that people want to fix and change and have be different. And we also have to be able to do those things while also taking care of ourselves, because activist burnout is real. I've experienced it. So many of my friends have experienced it.
Have you experienced it?
Yeah.
You have very no chill, like, when it comes to activism. Like, yeah, since I've known you for all these years.
Yes, but I have had to, in some ways, like, okay, I have, before, being out there in the protests all the time, constantly, was a big thing for me. But I remember after the George Floyd protests, when the next few days I was having some really scary, like, psychological effects and, like, dissociation while just being out and about, just was all the things that were happening and, like, the PTSD from that. One of my friends told me, like, you have to take care of yourself, and that doesn't mean you stop working. You work differently and figure out how you can work to manage yourself, your feelings, your mental health and physical health, etc., while also still doing the work. And I think that is an important thing that everyone has to learn and figure out which ways you can be of service without harming yourself.
Yeah, and also you're getting older, like
that means
what people don't tell you is that marching is hard on the knees.
You don't have, but
I it's a joke. It's a yuck. Okay.
It was very funny.
Thank you. I could tell because you reacted in a stern way. All
right. So last but definitely not least is Barbara Smith.
Yes.
And she is an amazing activist, an OG in the Black, lesbian, just advocacy spaces.
Sure.
She had been working for, throughout the 70s, throughout the civil rights movement, and she actually worked with she and some people founded or worked together at the National Black Feminist Organization, and then they created the Combahee River Collective, and that is, which is still around today, because they felt we needed to be more like working harder and being a little bit more, what is the word?
Proactive?
Militant.
Okay.
In different ways and being stronger because they were not receiving the support from the National Black Feminist Organization. So I'm grateful for her. I love the Combi. I hope I'm not saying it. Honestly, this is a word that I read all the time, but I've never heard it said, so I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But the Combahee River Collective, they still do a lot of great work.
Combahee.
And it's something that you should look into, sign up for, support in any way.
Or maybe Combahee.
Oh, maybe that. And the collective is the one that coined the term identity politics, which is something that we are all talking about and dealing with and working through. So thank you very much, Barbara Smith. You are an icon.
Yes, all of y'all are icons.
All of your icons.
Yes, shout out to all of them.
Now, as we're going to move away from queer icons. What's wrong?
I didn't update the drop.
Which drop did you want?
I didn't update the pop topics drop. We made a whole fucking thing about it last episode, and I didn't do it. And
well, you still have time.
I have time. It won't be on this episode, but
soon.
Yeah,
it's coming soon.
It's coming soon. In fact, I'm making a note about it.
So we have some good news to share.
Well, hold on. Let me at least do the drop that we have.
We have some amazing, historic, just above and beyond news for you today that you've probably heard unless you're living under a rock. Mm-hmm. But the Orange Troll, number 45, former President Donald Trump, was convicted on all 34 what is the word? Counts. Thank you. I was so excited. All 34 counts in his trial of falsifying business records in order to influence the election. And honestly, I'm grateful because I fucking hate that man.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress.
Now, if you've been paying attention to the news over the last few years, first of all, shout out to all of the people who worked on this trial.
Worked on this case. Yeah.
On the case. And the judges in the courtroom, everybody, thank you for your service.
Shout out to the jurors.
The jury. The jury, I remember when they first started with the proceedings, there were people who they were accusing Trump's team of threatening people. I remember
doing some real mob shit, trying to lean on a weak juror in order to cause like a mistrial. You know how like those mobsters would do, like they would go up to. I'm basing this off of the one episode of The Sopranos that I saw. Where they go to like one juror and is like, yeah, it would be a shame if something happened, blah 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 blah, and then like they just like keep flip flopping like their decision so that they can't have a unanimous decision. I will say this, like, this is really fucked up, but when I was a juror, at one point I kind of fell asleep on the jury.
Imagine that.
So there was like some key information. It was like an insurance fraud thing, and I remember like not remembering parts of the information, so I kind of just went with the majority that wanted to not. There was no conviction. It was all like either he did it or he's getting insurance or he's not getting insurance.
Wait, and you were on the trial. He was fighting to be able to get insurance.
Yeah, for his I guess his like workers' comp thing or something.
And so what was the ruling?
That he got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't like keep a man from getting like the much.
No. The majority wanted to give him the thing, and honestly, I went with the majority. And then when the lawyer, because apparently after, I didn't know this, after a trial, lawyers from the other side can ask the jury why they voted or ruled the way that they ruled. Yeah. And I was just honest with them. I was just like, I just went with the majority because I'm an 18-year-old and I don't care about any of this shit.
So it was in Baltimore.
Yes, it wasn't. How did you know that this was in Baltimore? This could have been in DC. How would you have known that this was in Baltimore?
Your address was like, even though you went to college in DC.
Oh yeah, no. For the longest time, I was registered to vote in Baltimore. Yeah. But then
I remember you said that thing about your absentee ballot.
Yes, I would send my absentee ballot because New York is always gonna go blue. So I just figured, like, my nephew still lives in Baltimore. Like, it just makes sense. Yeah, it just no, he doesn't live in Baltimore. What?
Your nephew.
You said mine as well.
No, I did not say that.
You just said mine as well.
No, you want to bet?
Yes, I want to bet.
Good. And what am I? No, wait. So if I win,
we're gonna rewind this.
No, wait. Yeah. Wait. I want it on camera. If I win this, you're gonna have to buy me my birthday outfit.
Okay.
So pause it because I'm gonna tell you.
Well, I can't rewind it. Like,
why not? So we're gonna have to listen to it after. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I said.
You said mine as well.
First of all,
you said mine as well. I said my nephew is in Baltimore, and you said mine as well.
Shake my hand on this bet.
What did you say then?
Shake my hand.
No, tell me what you said.
We already made the bet.
I want to know what you said then. If you didn't say mine as well.
We've already agreed to the bet.
You know what? Bet's off.
No,
Fuck
it's not.
this.
No,
yeah,
it's
not.
Is.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yes, it is. Bet's
because you know you're going to lose.
No, bet's off. Bet's off then.
No, it's not.
Bet's off. Yes, it is. We don't have time for this.
I said
we don't have time for this.
Well.
We don't have time for this.
You are a liar, and you owe me. First of all, you already owe me an outfit from before.
No, I don't.
That bet I won. Yes, I do. I have a long memory, friend. Mm-hmm. For the things that I...
Yeah. You have a long memory you have a long selective memory.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't help it.
You can help it.
I cannot help it.
Yes, you can.
How can I help what my memory decides to retain?
You can try to retain other things instead of fucking bullshit bets. You can remember bets, but okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It is what it is.
I can remember bets versus whatever shady shit you were about to say. Anyway, much like Trump, you are a liar and a loser.
No, first off, I was about to do a Trump impression.
Voice.
Yeah, but
little hands.
Honestly, that's the equivalent of the N-word in my mouth. Like doing anything that has to do with a Trump impression.
Fake news. All right, anyway.
Wildly fake news. So my impression is what is the dude from Daily Show who used to be on Daily Show? He's from South Africa.
Trevor Noah?
Trevor Noah's my impression of Donald Trump is Trevor Noah doing an impression.
So I'm doing
Trevor Noah doing an impression of Donald Trump. Yes.
It's a hat on a hat on a hat.
Yeah, it is a hat on a hat.
Well, we also need to shout out someone who was extremely integral to this case, and that is Stormy Daniels.
Yes.
Shout out to you. Shout out to all sex workers. Sex work is real work. You deserve all the respect, honor, and praise. I actually met Stormy Daniels.
How did you meet Stormy Daniels?
I think it was...
When?
It was like 2019, maybe. There was a
Did you work on him?
There was a sex expo.
A sexpo?
In Brooklyn, in Greenpoint.
Oh, Exotica.
Not that. That's not Exotica.
Okay.
Exotica is in Jersey.
But there was something in Brooklyn not too long ago. It was in Greenpoint. What was it called?
I don't know. I think it's usually called the Sex Expo. That's the one I know about Exotica.
Yeah,
but that is not what that says. That's the first link. God, you're just just stressful.
Just say from the past. Like
I said from the past. You're the one that asked for the
no,
name.
I'm talking about when you're Googling it. We don't have time for this.
Anyway, I was at the Sex Expo, the Brooklyn Sex Expo.
Okay, Brooklyn Sexpo.
And she was there, of course. Everyone had known about her, Donald Trump. So she was just there promoting her work and signing her book and all that. But I wanted to say what she said. She did an interview about working with the case and what is that word when you're on the stand? You're testifying. So she said that being in court was so intimidating with the jurors looking at you, but I'm glad that the stuff came out in court that wanted to come out and prove. I've been telling the truth the entire time. It's not over for me. It's never going to be over for me. Trump may be guilty, but I still have to live with the legacy.
Speaking of testify, and I wanted to point this out to you, but you were in the bathroom at the bar that we frequent the other day. A Common song came on the fucking
Before you
speakers.
like my love away.
It wasn't that Common song,
Like my love away.
but it was
Please,
it was the one that goes happen.
Oh. What
This
is-
is true soul heroes. What
What is the name of that song?
I don't know. I feel like it might be on his B album, but it was just so you were in the bathroom for the entirety of the song. I'm not trying to call you out or anything like that, but you were in there, and I was just like, I have not heard a Common song in a bar, let alone out in the wild, in a very long time. And that album was amazing to me. It was one of my favorite albums for a long time. B?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
That came out when we were high school, college.
That came out when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, because John Legend was big.
Yes,
and
yes.
that was when
And weren't they, like,
Good Music.
they were doing
They
a
were
lot of
all a
stuff
part
together,
of
yeah.
Good Music, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
But then he turned out to be a sex pest, so I don't listen to him anymore.
I forgot about that.
Everybody forgets.
But are you going off of Jaguar Wright or are you going off someone else?
No, I'm just going off of Jaguar Wright. It's just one person, but it just
But-
takes one person to.
No, it's
know.
I don't disagree with you, but I think Jaguar Wright is a very interesting character. That I have listened to a lot of things over the years from her.
Sure.
And sometimes I wonder whether or not it's true or it's her just having something to say. But I mean, that I do now remember what you said, that about her, and it was very sad.
Yeah.
But we did want to bring up some of our favorite, back to the Trump trial. We wanted to bring up some of our favorite posts that we saw. This is not an all-encompassing list.
Yeah.
Because there were lots of them.
Yeah, there were.
But let's bring it up. Now, you're going to have to read that because I can't see it.
Okay, so these are a few of the images from Twitter. These are a few of the tweets that we found from Twitter that are the best reactions to Donald Trump's conviction. And that was not one of them. That is something that we'll explain later if we get to it, because we might not. Americans voting in November. RuPaul saying, 2 criminals stand before me. I don't know if that's how
Sashay
how
away. Yeah,
RuPaul says it.
Sashay away.
Sashay away. Okay. LOL. We really in hell. And this is a response to breaking news. Trump's donation site crashes due to surging traffic.
Sorry, my friend. I have a quick interjection.
This is the bad place is also a part of this. What's
you
up?
didn't say either of those people's Twitter handles. Do you want to pause that so you can cut that part out?
No.
Okay.
Rahita Kandambi.
Is that her Twitter handle or the name?
Yeah, that's the Twitter handle. At Rohita Kandambi. And did the 2 criminals stand before me. And no MG said, LOL, we really in hell to breaking news.
You are such a grandfather. It is just mind-boggling.
GL De Vittorio says, they got me, girls. They don't need to know the handles, but you want them to know the handles, sure.
Handles. The people listening need to know.
Sure. Yashar says we need a kill switch for the entire internet, and it's literally Trump with some braids.
What is it, the braids?
I would love to see Trump. Well, he's going to be at Club Fed. He's going to be getting fucking all of his needs met.
And Go Gabrielle says, may everybody live to see their enemies fall the way the Central Park 5 have.
Agreed.
Which is agreed. You know that happened on my birthday, the date I was born,
yes,
right?
I do.
Yeah, so.
And so, one thing that I thought was hilarious about this in some ways is that the Secret Service will have to go to jail with him if he does go to jail.
Yeah, so he's gonna, how is that hilarious? That feels like it's a fucking waste of taxpayer
No, it's a waste
money.
of taxpayer dollars, but I am cackling at the many Secret Service officials who are going to be having to.
I want him to get the max sentence. I know he's not going to, but I want him to get the max sentence.
Me too. I don't even think he's going to be any. He's not going to get any sentence. His sentencing is on 7/11. So I propose that everybody play Beyonce's 7/11, and then
go get a freezy. Go get a freezy from 7-Eleven.
No, 7-Eleven should have a discount, like a 45 cent.
Well, they already give away freezies on 7-Eleven.
Buy a 70. They should have a 45 cent orange slushie.
Oh, because he's 45? He's the president at 45?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think that would be a good marketing
It would have been funny if he had 45 counts.
It would have.
But
it would have.
It was just 35.
I mean, the fact that 34, wow, can't believe it.
Or 34.
You want to know what pisses me the fuck off about this?
Mm-hmm.
One, he can still run for president.
Yes, he can.
Two, he'll probably still be able to vote. When if you across every state has different rules and regulations about this.
I know. I'm pretty sure that if you're a citizen in Maryland and you're a convicted felon, you can't vote.
If you're in Florida, you can't vote. In New York, you can vote. But to me, this is just on one hand, so happy that this is happening to him, and I wish him all the worst. But on the other hand, I saw someone tweet about this, about not basking in the disenfranchisement of people who are felons, because that is only adding to the issues that we have. And then another tweet that was like, maybe we'll finally get some reform for people with felonies to actually make their lives better so that they can actually be a part of society in a real way.
What was the Twitter handle of this person?
I don't remember, but I don't have it. I didn't pull it up. Yeah. So they can look for it. Y'all can look for it.
Yeah, it's almost as if they could have looked for all the tweets.
You can be an angry grandpa if you want. Well, you know what? I'm gonna start calling you angry grandpa. That should be your new handle, and it should be like, get off my lawn.
First off, that's a thing that my dad already is known for saying get off my lawn.
So there's already a Maurice that is
a Maurice exists who's already an angry grandpa who's literally okay. And but if you want to attribute that to me, that's fine. I just am the guy who has to edit this fucking thing.
Yeah, well, hey, we all have our burdens to bear.
Mm-hmm.
But my feeling as an abolitionist is that
how do you square this?
This is the thing. I feel like being an abolitionist is difficult in a lot of instances, because it's not difficult of the fact of being an abolition or believing in abolition, because I believe in that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But when in times like these, we only have the framework within what we currently have. So knowing that,
what do you mean the times like these? Wouldn't it be all the times we only have these frameworks?
No. I'm talking about, because there are a lot of times where someone could get arrested where I would think I don't think they should see jail. But if someone is a sex offender, if someone's murders, does a fucking serial killing and school shooting or whatever, stuff like this, where it's I do not believe in prisons, but I do believe these people need to be separated from society in some way. Or maybe not separated, but they need to have a consequence. we only have the frameworks that we currently have.
Sure.
How can we create transformative justice, reformative justice, and all the different justices that we would like to see? So, like, the thing about it is, I never want to say, oh, it's great that someone I don't like is going to be disenfranchised or oppressed or whatever, because we already know that what they will do to one other person, they'll do to you. But my only hope and the only glimmer of not silver lining, but like the glimmer of hope in this, but maybe from this we'll get some reforms that are needed. Maybe we're going to get some people with felonies being able to like go about their lives and be the productive citizens they want to be, et cetera, because we know there are plenty of people who are in jail facing felonies who shouldn't be there, because it's not like they murdered anyone. Maybe they sold some drugs. Maybe like there's people who are in jail because they put their child's name, they put their address in a different school district, like in Georgia. They put their address in a different school district so their child could actually like have books, and now they're facing felonies. Like, I do not think that anybody deserves to be ostracized for life, except Trump, and a small few. But I'm very curious what this is going to be.
So it's only for people that you don't like?
No. It's for people that I don't like, but also have done terrible things.
So it's both. It's people you don't like and who have done terrible
but
things.
it's like the thing is,
but there are some people who have done terrible things that can.
Well, the thing is, look, I'm a human.
Sure.
And I sometimes hold grudges for people.
Sometimes, my fat ass. Sometimes, shut the fuck up.
First of all, I hold grudges against people.
Thank you for editing yourself.
Who do things
to
grudges, me
period.
Or others.
That's the end of the sentence.
That are literally like, why would you do that? You know, like, why would you do that? Like, what would be the reasoning, right?
Ugh,
so
that's poison in your body, hon.
I do not I don't want that. I don't want to hold a grudge. And that's a hard part for me, because to me, like, I want to be like, throw him away and lock him away, throw away the key and all that. But also recognizing the impact that could have on people both now and in the future that might be indicted or whatever. So it's a journey, but also
it's a journey.
I still will say I want to abolish the police and abolish the systems we currently have.
Sure, take a shot.
They do not work. If they worked, people who went to prison would come out reformed and doing other things. But that's not what we have currently. They wouldn't even fucking let some of these people see the eclipse. So, I mean, we are living in a dystopian, weird society. Why are you making that fucking face?
What did that have to do with anything?
Because
they wouldn't let people see the eclipse.
Because if you were tapped in, you would know that there were several.
They wouldn't let motherfuckers get out for COVID. I know that.
They're not getting out to like be free. I'm talking about they had people in some jails across the country where they had the glasses and all this, but then when the time came for them to go see the eclipse, they wouldn't let them. So it was like a bait and switch, which I think is shitty and it's rude and it's mean, and it doesn't do any. That's not adding to anybody's what is it called, reformation, which is why I told you I feel weird about watching that show. What is it, Locked Up or whatever? Locked, whatever. It's a new show on HBO Max where they're like doing an experiment where they're like seeing if prisoners can be in the prison without supervision and seeing how they work.
Which is literally just Oz. Like that was just Oz. Basically. But now they're doing it in real life.
It's just I don't want to watch people who are being enslaved, like going about their lives and act like it's normal, because it's not. But I 100% want to see Donald Trump living under a jail I want him to be in the Man in the Iron Mask. Mm-hmm. I want him to have that. I also want them to put a gag in there so he can't talk.
I want them to test his face because it looks like putty. You know that orange putty back in the day, like tack that you would use. It was either orange or blue that you would use to put on walls.
No.
I tasted it before.
I know you did.
Tasted disgusting.
I know that
because it was, and it smelled interesting.
All right, we're moving on. I'm gonna actually fast forward.
You're gonna. We gotta go.
Diddy. We gotta talk about Diddy, another person who belongs in jail, or he belongs somewhere away from people. Can you get the thing up and stop looking at that?
Get what thing up?
The Diddy.
There was nothing.
Oh well, good. So, if you haven't been,
I'm the one who brought the Diddy story to you.
Paying attention. First of all, there's so many times. There's so many. Just straight to the moon, Alice. Mm-hmm. Straight to the moon. Anyway.
Yeah, that would be
very much on Diddy's.
That would be abuse.
That would be very much on Diddy's.
Speaking of abuse, Diddy and the Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stone came out with they had a 6-month investigation into Diddy. And they had a lot of terrible takeaways.
It's covered years, but they've been doing this investigation for the past 6 months.
Investigation for 6 months.
Yeah,
but it encompasses all the way from him being at Howard. To now. And so now I read the article. It was definitely very damning, not surprising. Folks,
he has control and anger issues. That's basically all this is. That he was a horrible person in college. He was a horrible person at Rolling Stone. When Biggie died, they wanted to put Biggie on the cover, and he was like, "No, put me on the cover because it's gonna be." I'm the one who's putting out his album, so put me on the cover.
But also, people have brought back up the fact that during this
he got Wendy Williams fired.
Well, yes. During this investigation, they found out that Biggie was, in fact, thinking about leaving Bad Boy. Yeah. And so that brings back up people's belief that Diddy might have killed him or whatever. Honestly, it's a lot. There were interviews with people who had went to college, were at Howard with Diddy, who were talking about how he was violent and scary. And
he was huffing and puffing. He was one of those kids who huffed and puffed.
And just being complete, being misogynistic, being violent, not taking no for an answer, which is honestly, unfortunately, I wouldn't say is surprising because through personal experience and also people that I know at Howard, there were plenty of men who were like that, who you would hear about stories about, so you would keep away from them, or you would find things out about later on. And so it's not surprising. It's disappointing that he's been allowed to live this long doing all these things and nobody was calling him to task because he had money. But I am hoping that all of the people who are doing things to oppress others in any kind of way will get their just desserts.
Sure. And there's also a potential indictment coming for Diddy too. So we're going to be monitoring the story very closely because the downfall of Diddy is something that should be studied for sure. Because it is calling these powerful individuals into question. Yeah. I've been somebody who has said that there should never have been such a thing as a billionaire, or billionaires should not exist because anybody who has that much money,
you shouldn't have that much money.
You shouldn't have that much money.
I feel
I would argue that if you get to 500 million, that should be it.
The rest of your money should be going towards building the infrastructure.
You should only be able to I have heard that you could survive on $700,000 for the rest of your life.
That sounds plausible.
That is something that I have heard. If you are responsible with your money, you can survive on $700,000 for the rest of your life. If you're 20 or something.
Even if you said, you know what, I'm going to Even if you said everybody's allowed to have a max of $5 million a year, and then after that $5 million, your money has to go towards society, you would still be balling out.
Yeah, you'd be able to get a yacht.
You'd be able to get a yacht.
Maybe not the crew
or whatever.
Maybe you can't pay the crew, but you can get a yacht. But that's neither here nor there. Diddy going down.
I wholeheartedly want for Howard to return his honorary doctorate because I already believed he shouldn't have gotten it because he only gave us about $1 million, which is not anything. You could barely fix the School of Business with $1 million, if not even to fix it.
That's not even the school that needs to be fixed. School of C is the one.
These are the ones that need to be fixed.
Fucking old ass used to be a hospital ass building.
Well, first of all, not just used to be a hospital, it was the Freedmen's Hospital. So it is an important place.
It still used to be a hospital.
Yeah, but it's an important, significant place. So they should, not to say they should leave from there, but improve it. Why should I walking from, going to fucking screening room west?
Yo, that shit was crazy.
It was like you were in a fucking silo, no service
at all.
No Wi-Fi, no nothing.
There could be, there were, and I, don't ask me how I know this, but there was a lot of fucking going on over there.
Don't ask me how I know this. We know how you know this.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay.
There was a lot of fucking.
There was a lot of fucking in all the Howard buildings.
If it's what you're thinking, then there was a lot of fingering. But if it's not, then there was just a lot of fucking.
No, of course, in all Howard's buildings there was a lot of fucking because a lot of
chemistry
them,
building. Shout out to the chemistry.
I think honestly, the chemistry building, the architecture,
engineering,
architecture, because it's the same building, architecture, engineering.
Yeah.
School of C had some little haunts. The UGL in the stacks.
Shout out. Ooh, I was about to name somebody.
Don't name anybody.
Shout out to. How do I say this?
A friend, a lover,
a friend of mine who had their. How do I say this? We don't have time for this, but let's just say an aggressive cherry pop.
Oh God!
With fingers.
Glad it was a consensual.
Yes,
situation.
it was a consensual, and the evidence was on their shirt. Anywho, so we're gonna have to run through all the rest of this shit.
All right. Well, okay, we're moving on. First thing. If you remember last year about that Titanic, those billionaires that went on like a Titanic surveillance.
That from the board.
I did not. I'm still talking about it. I didn't see you do that. So anyway,
what is the point of the board then?
I didn't see it. Last year, Ocean Gate was a situation that had everybody across the interwebs, across many communities, waiting with bated breath because the people went down and then we didn't hear from them. People thought they exploded, whatever. But now an Ohio billionaire is saying he wants to go and try it.
Bad idea. Next story. It's a bad idea. We need to leave Titanic alone. No, we figured we have a whole movie about Titanic, and we have so many examples of people trying to go down to the Titanic and dying. If James Cameron has covered all there needs to be about the fucking Titanic. Well, so let that just be it, and we could just be done with it.
Billionaires real estate investor Larry Connor and the Triton Submarines co-founder Patrick Leahy said they're developing a new vessel. Hopefully it does not just have a PlayStation controller, because that did not work the first time. Okay, next. So Carlton, a.k.a. Alfonso Ribeiro, thank you. He got into a little feud with Tyler Perry because he had a interview with, I think it was online or whatever, where he was talking about how being Carlton stopped him from being able to work because he was basically typecast and all that. And so someone tweeted, they were like, at Tyler Perry needs to revamp Alfonso Ribeiro's career. I just know he could. And Alfonso tweeted back, I don't need or ever want that man to do anything for me. And honestly, best thing he could have said, because Tyler Perry takes amazing, iconic black actors, puts them in bad wigs, gives them horrible dialogue.
The only one who left out of the Tyler Perry factory unscathed is Idris Elba.
Oh, yeah, but he only did like one movie, right? It was only Daddy's Girls.
Yeah, it was only Daddy's Girls.
So that him and Gabrielle Union, because didn't Gabrielle Union? She was also in because she was also in that one. It was Daddy's Girls, and then it was also the one where he met this like poor black woman who was a maid.
That could be any number of his movies.
You're right, but I think she might have been in that one where she was like the.
Oh no, that wasn't Gabrielle Union. That was the woman from not Kingdom. What's it called with Terrence Howard and not Regina Hall. Empire. Who was in Empire?
Not Regina King.
Taraji
P. Hall.
Taraji P. Henson?
No, Taraji P. Henson.
Yeah. I think that was Taraji P. Henson that was in that one that you just described.
No, you're talking about Acrimony, and also she did I Could Do Battle by Myself.
Yeah, that's what you were just describing. But you were describing the plot of I Could Do Battle by Myself.
No, because he had one where what's her name? Felicia Rashad, and was his mother or something like that. I'm gonna find it, but we don't
have the time for this.
But I'm glad that Alfonso doesn't want his help, because you're not gonna get a movie. You're gonna get a lot of black people watching you, but it's not gonna be like good.
Yeah. All right. Last one.
Last but not least, we are saying yeah, because Usher will be getting a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2024 BET Awards.
Yes.
So,
it's about time. Although I have been saying for the longest time, how is it that all these artists are getting Lifetime Achievement Awards before Stevie Wonder? And we don't have a lot of
time
left with Stevie.
No, I mean, I think that's true. Like, we
Where is Stevie? Where is Stevie? Somebody go check up on him to make sure that he's okay. We need to
gather a list of all our black icons. Do it from oldest to youngest, and then give them the awards, because it's like, yes, younger people might die sooner, but if we do it to the eldest, they'll at least have it before they're gone, which I think is a great idea.
Sure. I mean, I assume that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Are you ready to jump into what made us happy?
Yes. With the finite amount of time that we have, with what made it...
We're going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
Anyway, we got to cut some stuff out, so it's not even as long as we think.
No. Anyhow, so what made you happy this week?
Well, pull up that beautiful bean footage that I sent you.
Okay. This is the video, right?
No.
The video. This one.
No. What? Okay. Yes, that one, and then the next one's the picture.
Next one is a picture?
Yes, it is the picture.
All right, well, here's a video.
So this...
They can't... the audio people can hear this. Yes.
So this is a picture of a young woman... A video of a young girl. I think she's about 13 or 14. She was airlifted from Gaza, and she was in the burn unit in... what is this hospital? Northwell Health in, I believe, Staten Island. And they're just showing her recovery, and she's dancing, and she is happy, and to me, that made me very happy, because if you have not been paying attention to the news, Gaza has been being bombarded by the Israeli military since October 7th, and they have been escalating their attacks, and it's been horrible. It's been disgusting. But seeing things like this, where there's a child who is able to heal from her physical wounds and be celebrated, just made me very happy. And then also that census data Oh, yes, this one. Read that one. I can't see it.
Mississippi teen Danny Johnson receives National Geographic Award for plan to save Mississippi's oyster reef population. The 9th grader has produced 1,100 oysters that will in turn spawn millions of larvae into the ecosystem, a huge ecological impact.
Well, congratulations to this beautiful black girl, and for all she's doing to save our climate and our world, more than all the people who own all these corporations and have all this money. And the third one is the census data.
Oh, okay.
That yellow picture. So my sister sent me this. Floyd McKissick is my pop, and this is like a registry card he had for something.
Feels like some of this information should have been like blocked out. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, none of those places are around anymore. Like those addresses are not really. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's census data. I don't know what the. It doesn't really say anything to me that feels like it's intrusive. But
all right,
my sister sent that to me, and it made me very happy. She also sent me some other documents.
Watch you get like a whole new world worth of spam calls.
Oh God!
After this, because you decided to put in the census data of your grandfather, right?
My pop.
Your grandfather.
Yeah, but I called him Pop.
No, I know. I know. I just, for the listeners and for the audience.
Yes,
nobody knows what pop means.
People know what pop means.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, that could be great grandfather.
You would call your great grandfather Pop?
Yeah, he's Pop's Pop. He's Pop's Pops. He's Pop's Pops. He's Pop's Pops.
All right. Well, that made me happy this week, because of just, of course, seeing my grandfather's handwriting. I low-key, I want to get his signature tattooed on me.
Yeah.
Because I think that would just be a lovely gesture, a lovely remembrance. I don't really... My pop died when I was 3. So I literally only have one singular memory of him. In my head, it was that we were berry picking, but my sister tells me we weren't berry picking. We were just in our yard, in our old house in Copaig, and that he was just holding me while we were looking through the bushes. But in my little baby brain, I was like, oh, we were berry picking.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
That you and your grandfather were just hanging out in Ronkonkoma. That's adorable.
We're not in Ronkonkoma.
That is so adorable.
But please continue.
Odie and
what is
Pop
making
in Ronkonkoma
you happy this week? Thank you. Please continue.
Obviously doing this podcast with you, and I beat Spider-Man 2. I have been playing that game for a long time. I beat it. Now I've moved on to Mass Effect 2. It's gonna be a while before I beat that, because I'm a bit of a completionist, so I'm gonna have to go to all the planets, probe them, and get as much resources as I possibly can, because the first time that I played Mass Effect 2, when I went into the final stage, all of my crew members died.
Oh God.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it was because I should have been upgrading my ship the entire time, and the only way to upgrade it is to scan planets for their resources and get resources from there. So, you live, you learn, and you get loves. So but that is everything involving the podcast, and thank y'all. I don't forget to
share,
subscribe. I'm pretty sure this is in the. Email. We have to re-record that ending.
I don't want to re-record it.
No, we have to. It's not the right song. We have to do it with the new updated song.
Fine.
Yeah, the new updated song, Witty. But yeah, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching the podcast. Take it easy, keep it sleazy. We'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's THATSOD.E. And on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.